This is a clip from our brand new show. Very, very exciting new show. NBA Weekend Best Bets with the Whale Capper. To check out the entire show, hit the link at the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on odds.com. We move on to another and a big game here. And we have a market for almost all the games going on tomorrow, except for this one, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Dallas Mavericks 15-16, 7-8 on the road at the Brooklyn Nets, 22-12, 13-5 at home. Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Mavericks coming off an ugly 111-97 loss at Philadelphia. They committed 22 turnovers, shot 41% from the floor. Luka went 19 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, and was a -20 while on the floor. Kristaps Porzingis, trade rumors around him, missed his third straight game with back tightness. He looked good Friday in practice. Carlisle expects him to be in the lineup. That starting good thing, because that starting five of Jay Rich, Luka, Finney-Smith, Kleber, and Marjanovic is not what we expected from that basketball team this year, and it's ugly. Brooklyn, 8 straight winners, rolling without Durant, longest winning streak since they moved to Brooklyn, and it's come almost entirely without Durant, who's missed a 6th straight game with strained left hamstring. They're now 7-2 when Irving and Harden play, but Durant doesn't. Durant isn't coming back till the All-Star break. Landry Shamet, 19 points, 9 boards. NBA's highest scoring team, these Brooklyn Nets, 120 points for the 20th time. They've already that ties a franchise record, and they've only played 34 games. Nets are 15-5 with Harden in the lineup. Very interesting spot here. We don't have a market. Let's hear what you think the market will be and how you plan to attack it. Whale Capper, Mavericks, Nets.
Yeah, so this one set up well for me. I was kind of looking at the long arc of the Mavericks this week and intending to play all 3 of these games. And I took the Mavericks on the money line against the Celtics just because I loved some aspects of how Doncic could attack their defense. And then I backed the Sixers against the Mavericks on Thursday because that was an absolutely disastrous matchup. And I'm set aside the fact that they started Boban, which is yikes. But that aside, it was a brutal matchup because they have no one that can stop Embiid, and Ben Simmons can do a nice job disrupting things on the perimeter, specifically going heads up against Doncic. It worked out to perfection. It worked out better than I even hoped. I mean, that was one-way traffic for the Sixers. The final score didn't even really tell you how lopsided that game really was. And now they head into play the Nets, and we saw the Sixers market open up -5.5. It initially came into 4.5 before getting some buyback in favor of the Sixers there. And so if the market feels like there's a 5-point gap between Dallas and Philly, I would expect they see about a 6-point gap between the Mavericks and the Nets. There may be a surcharge on the Nets here because of just how bad the Mavericks played last time. There's going to be a little hesitancy for people to get involved there. I'm expecting to see this settle around 6.5. And if Porzingis is indeed confirmed in that, then it may end up around, it may come in about a point. Now, Mavericks, I think, are the right side here for a couple of reasons. They can absolutely fill it up from 3, and the Nets don't even really try to pretend that they're going to defend the 3-point line. They're just kind of letting whatever happen and trying to outscore the opponent. That would expect, I would expect this to be a pretty competitive game. In general, the Nets, I think you can catch them sleeping in this spot, considering that they had such a successful road trip. They come home, they play a couple complete afterthoughts in terms of, teams that really aren't competing for anything in the Magic and the Kings, and just beat the brakes off of them. And, they're probably patting themselves on the back a little bit, looking towards the All-Star break to get a break. And I think the Mavericks can catch them in a low spot potentially. So this is a good kind of buy low, sell high, and I'll be backing the Mavericks with the points and probably a little money line as well.
Interesting. So with the idea that Kristaps is going to be made available, is this one of the games that you might want to bet when the line immediately comes out?
Yeah, opener. I think they play Kristaps. I mean, you've gotten the writing has been on the wall with the trade rumors that that they may keep him out for precautionary reasons because they don't want him to wear and tear, pick up an injury and squash his trade value. But the fact that Carlisle made that comment, as you pointed out, I think is pretty clear that he's going to play Saturday. I think they want to get him some good reps against the team that he's going to fill it up against, potentially, get some interest from some teams.
You're absolutely right, because he's been losing value with his defensive shortcomings. Yep. So I think that's a very shrewd point, that even risking injury, let's get him out against a team that can't defend him. So, I think it's a very shrewd point. What an interesting spot the Whale Keppers picked on Saturday night. Mavericks.
It's
And
going to be a great game either way. Every Mavericks game that is close is so fun to watch. Man.
Do you have any interest in a total here? I mean, do you think that this is going to be alarmingly high?
It's going to be like 242-ish, I would guess. And I don't, I think that's probably right. I mean, I remember seeing 242 for Pels Bucks last night. And my gut was like, oh God, that's so high. But then, I was like, you're not going to get rich. You're not going to make yourself feel good betting unders in those kind of games. And what do they land, like 260 or something like that? That was unbelievable.
I went through the exact same thing. I saw it opened at 240, went up to 242 and a half. I was like, come on, one bad quarter. And then I started researching it and I was like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow, exciting stuff. So that is Saturday night action for Whale Capper, Pacers and Mavericks.